Imagine a world without bicycles. It's hard, isn't it? The bicycle is such an ordinary, everyday object that most of us don't stop to think about it. Yet, it has revolutionized the way we move, shaped culture, empowered communities, and sparked countless innovations. But where did it all begin? What's the story behind this humble, two-wheeled machine? Today, let's take a journey from the very beginning of the bicycle's timeline to the modern marvels we see on the roads today. Our story starts in 1817. Let's set the scene. Horses and carriages dominated travel, and walking was the primary mode of getting around for most people. Then came a German inventor named Karl von Drais, who introduced a curious contraption called the Draisine. It wasn't quite a bicycle. It had two wheels aligned along a wooden frame, but lacked pedals. Riders used their feet to push themselves forward, a bit like a modern scooter. This invention earned the nickname the running machine and was introduced as a way to move quickly without relying on a horse. People were fascinated by the novelty, but the Draisine still had its limits. It was impractical and required smooth pathways. Fast forward to the 1860s. France entered the picture with an invention that moved closer to what we today recognize as a bicycle. Two blacksmiths, Pierre Michaud and his son Ernest, were working on the Draisine when they added pedals to the front wheel. This transformed the vehicle's design and functionality completely. It was called the velocipede, or less romantically, the Boneshaker, a name it earned thanks to its hard iron frame and wheels that made riding feel uncomfortable over bumpy roads. Despite its less than pleasant experience, the velocipede became incredibly popular among the adventurous upper class. Imagine Victorian-era riders wobbling eagerly down cobbled streets, fueling what was the beginning of a bicycle craze. But the real breakthrough came in the 1870s and 1880s. If you close your eyes and imagine an old-fashioned bicycle, you might picture a model with a massive front wheel and a tiny rear one. This was the ordinary, more commonly known as the penny farthing. It was designed by British engineer James Starley, who took the Boneshaker concept and refined it, giving us bigger wheels to cover more ground and improve speed. There was one glaring issue, though. The penny farthing was dangerously hard to ride. The huge front wheel made mounting and balancing precarious, and accidents, sometimes called headers, were frighteningly common. While cyclists adored the speed it offered, the ordinary couldn't escape its reputation for being hazardous. Luckily, innovation doesn't stop when the need for improvement is clear. Enter the 1885 safety bicycle, which changed everything. John Kemp Starley, nephew of James Starley, engineered a design that finally looked more like the bicycles we ride today. His creation featured wheels of equal size, a chain-driven rear wheel, and pedals in a much safer position. Riding suddenly became accessible for people of all ages and abilities, not just thrill seekers with a high tolerance for danger. The safety bicycle marked a turning point in history, making cycling mainstream. And what timing! By the 1890s, industrialization made production faster and cheaper, and bicycles became affordable for the masses. Suddenly, mobility wasn't limited to the wealthy. It was available to workers, women, and anyone who wanted independence. Speaking of women, the bicycle became a powerful symbol of liberation at the turn of the century. As suffragists fought for equality, cycling gave women new independence to travel freely. Feminist leader Susan B. Anthony famously said in 1896, "The bicycle has done more to emancipate women than anything else in the world." The bicycle craze of the late 19th century continued into the early 20th century, but it was not without challengers. The car arrived on the scene and quickly became the popular choice for motorized transportation. In many cities, urban planning started to prioritize automobiles, pushing bicycles to the sidelines. But don't count the humble bike out just yet. It didn't fade away. In fact, bicycles found new life as an affordable leisure activity and a practical mode of transport in rural areas. Throughout the 20th century, bicycles continued to evolve. Designs grew lighter with the introduction of steel and aluminum frames. Roads improved, making cycling more efficient. And by the mid-century, a new kind of cyclist emerged, the competitive racer. Races like the Tour de France brought bicycles into the spotlight, showcasing human endurance and the evolution of bike engineering. And then came the 1970s, a glorious renaissance for bicycles. With the environmental movement gaining traction and oil prices skyrocketing, many people saw bikes as the perfect alternative to cars. Cities began building bike lanes. In countries like the Netherlands and Denmark, bicycles became an important part of urban design. The bike boom also introduced new models made for modern tastes: lightweight road bikes, off-road mountain bikes, and everything in between. Fast forward to today, and bicycles are more innovative than ever. The technology has skyrocketed, giving us electric bikes, folding bikes, bikes made from carbon fiber, and models designed for the toughest terrains. They're used for commuting, exercise, sports, and even survival in areas where roads are unreliable. What's amazing is that bicycles now coexist harmoniously with other modes of transport, finding their place in sprawling cities, small towns, and natural trails alike. But the impact of bicycles goes beyond their design. Bikes have shaped cultures and movements. Think of the environmental and health benefits they offer. No emissions, no fossil fuels, just clean, green transportation. Think of how bicycles reduce traffic congestion, promote community interaction, and create healthier, active populations. They've become symbols of freedom, empowerment, and connection to the world around us. What does the future of bicycles look like? Well, innovation never stops. We're already seeing bikes that connect to apps to monitor fitness, smart systems that improve safety, and designs that push the limits of what's possible. Could we see flying bicycles one day? Who knows? What's clear is that the humble bicycle continues to inspire inventors, athletes, environmentalists, and everyday riders, just as it has for over 200 years. So next time you hop on a bike, whether it's to commute, explore, or just feel the rush of wind against your face, pause for a moment to think about the people who got us here. From Karl von Drais' running machine, to John Kemp Starley's safety bicycle, to the electric marvels of today, the bicycle's story is one of innovation, perseverance, and transformation. It's not just a machine, it's a triumph of human ingenuity. And the best part? The ride isn't over yet.